This week on a positively ghoulish episode of Horror Movie Night, we're going to talk about my classic 1953 film, The House of Wax.
Did you happen to watch the wrong version? Because I'm a little freaked out right now.
Oh, fuck. No. I watched so House of Wax right out the gate. We watched the House of,
we watched the 2005 remake. Thank fuck.
Remake in gigantic quotes because there ain't nothing that's tied to that original movie in this. Which, here's the thing with the House of Wax remake. I think that it is an incredible 90-minute slasher movie that is brought down by being almost 2 hours long when it really does not
it
need
has
to be.
no right to be this long.
If you are making a horror movie, you need to ask yourself one question. And that one question is this like an art house family drama / horror? And if the answer to that is no, then your movie ends at 1 hour and 20.
Just so long. So unreasonably long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm not even upset about it because, it goes on too long, but you have a fast forward button. I have a fast forward button. Believe you me, I watched this, and I did not watch this directly for an entire 2 hours there.
I paid $3 and I watched it in real time from midnight to 12 a.m. or to 2 a.m.
Wow, that's your own problem there, buddy.
I know.
I
didn't expect
midnight.
Aladdin to be as fucking long as it was.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So I had no clue that this was a Dark Castle movie. That kind of caught me off guard because I guess in my mind the Dark Castle movies were all like William Castle movies.
Yeah.
But man, what a strange introduction right out the gate with like the old footage of like a baby getting slapped inside of a high chair.
Oh man, so I love the start of this because it's like, I think I have a different now. I got a different double feature for this because it just gave me a Here, let me write that down.
Oh, good, because I think you were most likely to steal what my current double feature is. So we'll see what happens.
But yeah, some casual child abuse at the beginning with that flashback. Quality, fucking love it.
Can we just take a quick second to talk about this movie's soundtrack is all over the fucking place.
I don't want to talk about this fucking soundtrack because in the first 6 minutes we get Deftones and Disturbed.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the needle drops are like Manson and...
But then there's also... So I looked at the soundtrack because... By the time that I had heard my fourth new metal song, I was like, is this an all new metal soundtrack? But it's way more confusing than that because you've got like the Deftones and all that stuff. The lead single off the soundtrack, single in quotes, was The Prodigy featuring Juliette Lewis, the actress.
What?
Yeah. And
what
then
song did she... What? This is so confusing to me.
I have no clue.
It's an all new metal soundtrack. For
until
someone
halfway
that's,
through.
No, it's all new metal for a person scoring that only listens to Train. And it's like what they think new metal is.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple weeks since we made fun of Train. Let's make fun of Train some more.
But then midway through the soundtrack, all of a sudden, the later half of the soundtrack is like Joy Division and the Stooges and like all this old 70s garage rock. So it's just really disjointed all over the place. And then they have the audacity to end this movie and its shitty soundtrack with one of the best My Chemical Romance songs of all time.
Oh my God, like Helena.
I don't know if you noticed, but I said I watched this from 1 to 2 because I was in a delirious mood. And as soon as the credits started, man, did I sit there and sing along.
What's the worst that I
could say? Man, that's still, I mean, we have argued about this in the past, but that's still my favorite My Chemical Romance record.
Yeah. I mean, I really think that and Black Parade are both really good albums regardless. But yeah, I mean, they're, oh my God, the songwriting at that like period in their career can't be touched.
Nope.
So
I picked this and I want to apologize a bit because this is kind of a mean-spirited movie.
It's a very, so that's the biggest issue that I have with the movie is, and I had a note written down and we'll jump into this topic right now. even though it kind of covers two different moments in the movie. So Paris Hilton's in this movie, and she's shockingly bad at this movie. Like, even by like, okay, it's Paris Hilton in this movie, so I don't have high expectations. Like, she's not believable ever in any scene. But supposedly during her death, like, to advertise this movie, they sold shirts that said, "Watch Paris Hilton die on May 6th." And audiences cheered during her death scene. And I just feel like that kind of sums up that. Well, like, not every theater, but like,
no, I'm saying I saw this in the
yeah.
theater, and I nobody. I mean, that was a heinous kill.
Yeah, I just think that little snippet alone kind of sums up the mean-spiritedness of the whole movie.
And it's not just this movie, my friend. In 2005 to 2007, horror was just really fucking mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like there was no fun to be had. It was straight, let's just be brutal and dark and not fun.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there's moments of gore where I'm like, wow, that looks real fucking good. Like,
well, this movie for sure has some really good gore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of positives in this movie, but I agree with you. I felt uncomfortable watching it. And like, not in the like watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre way, although this movie has a lot more in common with Texas Chainsaw Massacre than it has with the House of Wax.
Oh, for sure.
But like, just like, kind of like, I'm not enjoying this as much as I want to be enjoying this.
No.
But it's not a bad movie.
I like the visuals of it. I love the visuals of that melting house. That's really, but it is just such a mean-spirited flick. Like, I think this is the third time I've seen it, and it's definitely the last. I have no interest in revisiting it just because it's not fun.
I watched it twice, and it was good to see it from two different perspectives. Like, seeing it as a 15-year-old hornball that's just like, I love Paris Hilton. Is she going to show?
You liked Paris Hilton?
At 15 years old, yes, I loved everything about her.
Did you see One Night in Paris then, or?
Yes.
I mean, who didn't? She takes a phone call in the middle of having sex.
The best part about that movie, and I gotta tell you, the best part about that movie, the porn obviously, is this was the running fucking joke when I was in college, because that was like, I think that came out in 2003 or something like that, and there was one point where she's blowing her boyfriend, and then he goes, "Ow, bitch!" And we both, my best friend who is a lesbian, and I are watching it, drinking, and we both like turn at each other, shocked face, and then she goes, "Oh, he loves her."
So the movie starts out with Paris Hilton and Elijah Dushku and one of the guys from
Elijah
Supernatural.
Dushku. It's Elisha Cuthbert.
Whatever, same
Elijah Dushku.
So
Whatever.
here's the one thing I gotta say about
Chad Michael
Elijah
Murray.
Dushku. Elisha Cuthbert. The thing is that she's hot off the heels of The Girl Next Door, where she is so mind-bendingly hot that you can't even like think straight. Yeah. And then they make her so bland in this film, and I love it.
Yeah, she is very
mousy.
Meh. Yeah, which is fine.
It's good for the story. I'm just saying it's so funny because she was such a sex pot in The Girl Next Door, which was probably the movie she did right before this.
Mm-hmm. Which was a great movie.
I like it.
Girl Next Door, yeah.
Yeah, Girl Next Door is one of the best like post-90s teen flicks that I can think of. So here's the thing, that this is the first note where I was legitimately confused. Like, really confused. So this group of kids are going to a football game. They camp out. Got it. A guy wakes up and he goes, "It's 2:30." And I cannot tell if it's supposed to be 2:30 in the morning and it's super bright because they don't know what they're doing, or we're supposed to believe that all 7 people have somehow slept until 2:30 in the afternoon, which just seems fucking impossible to me.
Dude, they were outside partying for the entire night.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to bed at 7, you could wake up.
And they're also they were all hungover.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Priorities, man. You want to go to that football game? You set an alarm.
Yeah,
I don't think that
no one else wanted to go.
Yeah, they're all here for him.
Yeah, there's just so many weird, like, that's kind of weird. The fact that they're like, oh my God, that smells terrible. I need to find the source of that.
You are running through all my notes. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But like for real, like, and then you find out that it's the smell of rotting carcasses. Why would you ever want to find the source of that smell versus just, I don't know, getting away from the source of that smell?
Okay, so here, you got to let me take over for just like 2 minutes here, buddy.
Take the wheel.
So the first time that the demon wind comes in and they're like, oh, what's that smell? And what's the Paris Hilton's boyfriend, who's like, I think he's supposed to be a football player. I don't know. He's like, something's dead out there. No, I'm sorry. Jared Padalecki's like, oh, something's dead out there. And then the jock guy is like, no, something's dead right here. Better drink it back to life. Bless me, dog. And then Chad Michael Murray fucking throws him a brew. It's great. It's awesome. And then, okay, so you can talk as much shit as you want about Paris Hilton, okay? First of all, she's a phenomenal marketer because she has marketed her idiot airhead character persona to being a fucking billionaire. So she's also the smartest person in this movie. She is the only character not interested in investigating that nearby murder house. She's the only character that says, yeah, let's go follow the smell. When Elisha Cuthbert is like, I have to find out where this murder house.
Know.
Yeah, dumb shit.
I don't understand why you guys are so confused by this. You know how many times I've walked in on my dad pooping just for something got in beagle mode? I said, what's that? Better go investigate. And then I just get
like
on all fours. Human. Yeah, get on all fours. I'm just sniffing the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, the Kelly house is a weird one. I've been there.
No, it's you know, I think we all like Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much because it's basically just like watching home video.
So Elisha Cuthbert falls in hands first into this muck. It's just, and it's super gross.
It's really like, gross.
I know that it's not real.
The grossest thing in this movie.
I know it's not real. Honestly, like my logic is in full swing right here. It's still really gross. And I'm just imagining how bad it smells and how you can't get out because you're in a terrible position. And then, so they finally get her out. And then she sees this hand. And of course, you're like, oh, that's a red herring. And so the creepy sling blade motherfucker, what's that's
I think his name's Lester, but I can't remember. He's probably my favorite character in the movie, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's hard to dislike him because he's such a goober. But so he comes in, he grabs the hand, pulls it off. It's obviously a mannequin hand. He goes, anyone need a hand? And I'm like, how many times have we had that joke happen on horror movie night? At least
too many.
At least 6 times. More than a handful.
I mean, this movie's got a lot of like horror movie classic going on because they extensively reference whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Yep.
Which is like first 10 episodes of this show.
Yeah.
But that's just like, I do love what. So here's the thing. Let's be honest. If Ambrose was a real place, like there was really like a wax town that you could walk around, I would fucking go.
I'd be there. I'd be there so fast.
Because like, here's the thing. At the time that this episode has come out, I will just be getting back from New England. And I'm doing like a week travel around New England. And the shit that's on my list to see is some of the most touristy bullshit imaginable. I'm going to see a thing called Eartha, which is the world's largest revolving globe.
Like, what? Is this your decision?
This is my decision. I'm going to go to Santa's Village because it's the only Santa Claus themed amusement park in the United States. Like, I'm just checking off the list of really, really shitty tourist traps. And that's what Ambrose is.
Oh, God damn it. You just told me what your fucking double feature is.
Maybe not.
Yeah, bullshit. So, it's okay. I wasn't going to pick that anyway.
Look, just because someone's heart explodes with fear when they're getting wet. But no, so like the one thing I always remembered about this movie, because it fucked me up so bad, and it still bothers me now, is that Achilles tendon cut.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, and like, how many times have we seen Achilles tendon shots in horror movies? Like, way too many times. I'm remembering the one
every time.
Yeah, there's that one that always comes to mind is the one in Urban Legend.
Oh, mine's always Pet Sematary and the remake both have that cut.
Oh, the one in the remake of Evil Dead. Oh,
it always gets you, and I don't understand what it is about that specific cut. But I don't know anybody who can sit through it and just be like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like, yeah, you can get your face peeled off, but not your fucking Achilles heel cut.
Those fuck me up to this day. I can't sleep with my feet hanging over a bed.
Well, of course not, because a monster's gonna eat you.
Yeah, or just slice my Achilles.
Ugh.
They don't. Yeah. They're only gonna do whatever hurts the most. So yes.
Yeah. But I will say the thing that works the most for me in this whole movie, in the sense of like, I actually really think that it's gross, but it's successful in its grossness. Everything that happens to the dude from
Jared Padalecki from Supernatural,
that shower is horrific.
But see, that's what I'm saying is like, this is just a really, really mean-spirited film, not just to women. Everybody who gets killed is, well, the stoner guy gets off pretty easy because he just gets decapitated. I do like the look of that kill; it's pretty fun. But Jared Padalecki, that is one of the worst ways to go that we've seen in a movie that we're discussing in quite some time.
I just don't get how he's still alive.
Okay, so yeah, that's the suspension of disbelief, because there's no fucking way that your body wouldn't you'd go into septic shock and
your heart would explode with fear
or pain. But yeah, dude, there's no way that he'd still be alive when the stoner is like peeling. That was the dumbest shit too. Is the stoner peeling?
Stop touching
Let me get you. Yeah, like I'd be like, I was actually watching it like cringing my face off because he was losing his face. But yeah, I was like, God damn, please stop.
I literally wrote down, Jesus Christ, stop touching the wax. Like, the first time that you peeled off the skin and saw like the muscle, it'd be like, okay, this plan's not going to work. I should stop doing this.
Yeah, but it's okay because he's the stoner. Oh, you know what else is a super cringeworthy moment? When Elisha, God, you really fucked me up. Elisha Cuthbert gets her finger cut off.
Oh my God. But like you said, it's just all so mean-spirited. And it genuinely bothers me, and
I'm glad that we're gone, that this style of horror filmmaking is no longer in vogue, because I hated it.
So we mentioned what happened to Baby Jane a little bit ago, and I feel like there's going to be Scott on one side and me on the other, but watching the I've written a letter to Daddy sequence, I was like, man, I really do want to watch Baby Jane again. I love how weird that scene is.
It's a great film. I just don't feel the urge to watch it ever again. It's just it's too dark, like it's just too dark for me.
But let's get into the actual killer, Vincent, because obviously a reference to Vincent Price.
No, there's two killers.
Okay, well, Bo and Vincent, but like the main person we're focusing on, they're played by the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
I do like the fact that they're Siamese twins. I think it's a cool twist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the makeup for Vincent's half missing face is incredible. Like,
are you talking about when he has the? So that's I didn't pause or rewatch. I didn't have time to like go back. When they peel his face off, is that CGI or is that practical? Because I think it's CGI.
It's probably CGI, but it still looks really good. And I like the idea that they were attached by the face of Siamese twins, so Vincent had to lose half of his face to separate them. So he's just got like, it just looks like his face is indented midway.
Yeah.
And it's really it's an effective look, and they were smart with only showing it for maybe 5 seconds. Yeah. Like it was,
I forgot that they actually pulled his face off. I like the wax face a lot. It kind of has a bit of a leather face thing when when he heats up the spoon and he does, his crack cocaine, and then he
that's what I'm like, what lights up the spoon?
No, he heats up the spoon and then fixes his face because Paris Hilton or somebody scratched him. But Yeah, I think that it's a really there's so much good in this movie, and that's why I really wanted to discuss it. But it's also there's so much mean in it that it's just really hard to defend.
And I feel like if we because we said this shouldn't be 2 hours. I wonder if it was trimmed down to like an 85-minute movie. If you could get rid of some of the meanness, get rid of like the character development that doesn't really exist, but thinks it does.
It's you can keep the character development, but just tighten up the scenes when they're walking around. Elisha Cuthbert and Chad Michael Murray spend 15 minutes walking around trying to figure out what to do. It's so stupid.
Well, and like, I mean, not that I think that like horror is all about the kills. You know, like there's plenty of movies where no one dies, but it's just a very good horror movie.
This movie is about the kills.
But between Paris Hilton's death and them killing the character, like the main villains, there is a full 30 to 40 minutes.
Wow.
Of just chase scene and them trying to hide and escape from these two brothers. And it's just too long. It's way too long. But like you said, the visual when they actually burn down this wax house and it's all melting is really, really cool. But I am going to say something that maybe Brian will agree with. I know Scott won't. I still think, even though these are actual human bodies in the wax as they're melting, it isn't as creepy to me as when I was a kid in the first 5 minutes of the original House of Wax when the wax sculptures are melting and it's just regular wax sculptors, but it's like the red and the white and the wigs are like slowly peeling off their head and stuff. It fucked me up so bad as a kid, and it's still kind of creepy to watch as an adult. And this one just felt too like on the nose with it. Like it's like, oh look, there's skeletons underneath.
Well, I like the fact that some of them are gooey underneath and some of them are dry underneath, because that means
which is a cool
detail.
detail.
So long.
Well, it's a good detail. It's just kind of like, as far as was it creepy and off-putting to me, it wasn't nearly as off-putting as
it's
just
not
watching real
supposed to be off-putting.
Statues.
It's supposed to be grotesque. That's really the it's hard to compare the two movies because they have two very, very different
end goals.
Yeah, like one is to horrify and one is to gross out. Like this is definitely a gross out film.
I mean, and I think that's why I always do have love for that original movie, is that it's just it's a
Vincent Price though, so of course it's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a time capsule of what like 50s horror was so good at. You know what I mean? Like,
was that Hammer?
No, that was, I forget who did that, but I remember it was the first 3D film.
Oh,
that
really?
was like its big thing. Was the first ever 3D film. But it's just such like, I remember watching someone review it and they were like, it's a mystery film while like not being a mystery film because we all know who's the killer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like they depict it as a mystery anyway because it's just a very 50s thing to do. Like if I needed to show someone what I think is like the most 1950s horror, like House of Wax is pretty high up there on the slide across the table.
Like, here. Yeah. I got what you need, buddy.
But yeah, I mean, I think we all said the same thing. Like, I'm not mad that I watched it, but you know, this is probably going to sit on my DVD shelf for years collecting dust until I either sell it at a convention or never watch it again, and it just sits there. You know what I mean?
So that was House of Wax. Sorry, guys.
I'll knock out my double feature since Scott already guessed it. Yeah, Tourist Trap is
That's a really great double
feature.
feature, though. It's a really good. It's better than mine. Mine was going to be is going to be Black Xmas because of those intro scenes with the fucked up kids. So
and they both kind of fall into that like remake in the most loose term possible for like it being a remake of its original source
But
material.
to be completely fair, or completely honest rather, I would take Black Xmas any day over House of Wax. Although I think they're both 2005, or they're close. I'm not exactly. Maybe Black Xmas is 2011, but in any case, Black Xmas is also pretty mean-spirited, but it does have a lot of humor in it, which really is a great bit of levity.
I was really scared that I thought you were about to say that you will take Black Xmas any day over Black Christmas.
Fuck
like,
no!
I know that. I was like, I know you like that remake, but let's be sincere.
No way, dude. Black Christmas is arguably the best holiday horror of all time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's beautifully paced. It sucks because it's one of those ones where I'm like, there's really no way we could ever do it on the show because it's not bombastic. It's just good.
Yeah, which is not what we do.
No. Ryan, what's your double feature?
So as you guys may have noticed, I didn't talk much this episode. because I didn't really like this movie, but I also didn't really hate it. It just was there.
It's a
You also
movie.
watched it at midnight until 2 in the morning, which
Yeah.
is not your normal bedtime.
No, it's not. So I would pair it with the remake of The Hills Have Eyes.
Ugh, that's also super mean spirited.
Very mean spirited. I didn't really like it. I didn't really hate it. The only thing that the Hills Have Eyes remake has a little bit more than House of Wax is the original Hills Have Eyes I didn't really like or didn't really hate.
Yeah,
So,
I think that the remake is slightly better than the original with The Hills Have Eyes, just because I think that The Hills Have Eyes is probably my least favorite of the famous Wes Craven movies. I
Yeah.
just think it's kind of there. It's very boring and
It's a
slow.
one-time watch.
That's also a really mean movie. Like, all these movies are just so fucking mean. I hate The Hills Have Eyes. I don't understand the cult obsession with it because it's not a fun movie.
No.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's one of the least fun Wes Craven movies, because Wes Craven movies usually have some aspect of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that was also like Last House on the Left era, but still. So as far as like new shit that we've seen that we want to talk about, I mean, like we said, for me, I think that this should be like a positive. Hey, here's something that you should check out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Brian's going to join me on this or not.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Well, no, I was going to say last night I saw Aladdin, and it's getting a lot of shit. And I think that all in all, it was a really good movie.
Me too.
My only beef is that, and maybe this was just me, but it feels like they knew that the actor playing Aladdin and that Will Smith weren't strong singers, so they just kind of spoke the lyrics.
They did the Rex Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, so that bummed me out. But the girl who played Jasmine is gorgeous and has an amazing voice.
Great voice.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I really was not excited for Will Smith. I didn't really care to see him as the genie. I didn't think that he would pull it off. And this movie started to lose me. Like, I was watching it and I just started to be like, man, I guess all the critics were right. This movie isn't that good. And then as soon as the genie came out, Will Smith immediately grabbed my attention and held it for the rest of the movie. And it wasn't just him, but I'm just saying, like, that is when I start to be like, okay, so this is almost becoming like a shot-for-shot remake that they just made. There's certain things that they made more up to date that you couldn't get away with anymore. Like the whole bracelet thing they use as opposed to the original classic Disney where Jasmine steals an apple so Aladdin pretends that she's mentally retarded.
Yeah.
But I think what I liked, and I realized it like midway through, I'm like, oh, this is really smart. Instead of having Will Smith show up and just do a Robin Williams impression as the genie,
He does like, a Will Smith impression?
Well, no, they're like, hey, how about the genies just hitch with magic?
Yeah.
Like,
did you not hear what I just said?
The other big thing that I kind of walked away from enjoying the movie for was just it's a very visually fun remake. Like I think that it's just fun. There's a lot of fun little there's a lot of like Easter eggs throughout it that I like. And there was one Easter egg that I saw it with two friends. One friend and I caught it and the other one missed it, but you've seen the footage of like Aladdin and the genie hanging out in the desert together. And if you look in the background, the magic lamp builds a castle out of sand.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's the Disney castle. And then he smacks the dirt so it makes the pixie dust thing over it, like the way the Disney logo does before every movie.
Nice.
But it's like so quick. Like it's just in the background. They don't draw attention to it.
Yeah, I caught that. I caught three. I caught that. I caught when he was showing the hierarchy. It was the original drawings of Aladdin, the Sultan and the genie, and then I caught obviously the in-your-face Easter egg on the map when he did the Fantasyland. With
he made the map.
Council.
To add whatever fake area Aladdin's supposed to be king of. He makes the map just literally the map for Walt Disney World. So there's like Adventureland, Fantasyland, like all that on there.
That's some recursive shit right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Aladdin, I mean, despite what the critics say, I think it was fine. I don't think it was amazing, but it was fine.
Is it really supposed to be amazing? Oh, wasn't the live action is the live action Lion King coming out this summer too?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
July.
in like a month or so. Yeah.
And how was the live action Dumbo? You said it was okay?
I liked it.
It's fine. It like
These
you
are
have to remember
also
the original.
unnecessary, you know?
Yeah, you have to remember the original Dumbo is about 60 minutes long and has 20 minutes of really, really racist, awful things.
Oh shit.
So the remake removed those 20 minutes and then expanded on it in a Tim Burton-y way. So like it's totally fine. I enjoyed it. There's a lot more Dumbo flying in it versus the original one
that's
where
what you
Dumbo
said,
flies in the last minute. So, but all right, Brian, do you want to just include Aladdin as yours or do you have another one?
I'm just gonna throw this in there. It's not anything new, just to let everyone know where I'm at in my life. Boy, have I been on a Gordon Ramsay kick, and do I love Kitchen Nightmares. I make Dave watch it every night.
All right, Scott, what was your recommend?
Okay, so I don't have a recommend for you. I have, because I blew my load last week with Twilight Zone and the Unicorn Store. So I have I watched this, you know, kind of thing. This is a movie. I finally watched John Carter of Mars.
I was thinking John Wick. I'm like, the Keanu Reeves movie?
I have not seen any of those. I don't watch action flicks, my friend.
I know. That's why I was confused. All right, John Carter makes that's a little bit more on brand for you. Continue.
It's absolutely on brand. It's just sci-fi shit. But here's the thing that I liked about it. It really did get unfairly panned because the name is shit. It's based on Edgar Rice Burroughs. Edgar Rice Burroughs. I think that's how you say his name. Book series called John Carter, Prince of Mars or something like that, or John Carter of Mars, whatever it is.
I think it was John Carter of Mars.
Yeah, but they like dropped the of Mars part, which just makes it such a terrible name for John Carter. Like that's just such a shit name for a movie.
I have to double check, but I think it was because something else space related had come out within the year and bombed. So they wanted to like hide that it was a space movie.
Yeah, well, you can't when you got a space opera going on right there, okay? It's not even a space opera. It's literally beaming yourself back and forth between Earth and Mars. But so the thing I like most about it, besides the fact that he can basically jump like Superman, the original Superman, because Mars's gravity is so much lighter, and he's like got denser bones, and so he's like a superhero there. It was very funny. The thing I really like is the woman, the romantic lead, is super hot because she's actually a blonde, so she's got blue eyes, but they gave her brown hair, which is very much my thing. So she kind of has a Xena warrior princess Lucy Lawless thing going on, and I definitely dug it. And I sent a picture to Megan the next morning, and I was like, honey, you want to know why I liked that movie that I was watching in bed last night? Because she was like falling asleep next to me. She didn't watch it. And I sent her a picture, and she's like, yep, I know exactly why. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest watching it, but it's on Netflix. And if you're trying to fall asleep, put on John Carter of Mars.
Cool.
All right. Well, that was the House of Wax. Yeah, it was. It was very mean-spirited. We weren't really the biggest fans, but we didn't hate it, I guess. I don't know. But we are going to talk about remakes a little bit more over on the Patreon. So go ahead and go to patreon.com/HMN podcast and listen to our thoughts and opinions on remakes.
Hey, and also here is a special bonus for everyone right here. If you can guess what this sound is correctly, good job. But this is my impression of what we want you to do at Patreon. That's me putting fake money in my hand, not masturbating, and definitely not clapping. So yeah, give us a couple bucks so that we can go to more conventions and see you.
Yeah, because we've been having fun with the conventions, man. There's going to be a few more around the horizon. Actually, it's worth mentioning that I will once again be at San Diego Comic-Con. So come over to San Diego Comic-Con. It sounds like there will be a signing of Jatro from FP at our table.
He was on our episode of Night of the Comet, if you didn't listen.
He was. There's going to be a signing of Becca and David McKendry at our table.
They were on our episode of
Society.
Yeah, there we go.
We're probably going to be having a signing of Jason and Ashley of the Geek History Lesson podcast, who haven't been on this show, but they have graciously had me on their show in the past.
Nice.
To talk about the top 5 greatest horror villains. So They're a great show to check out. They're awesome people. And there's a lot of other things that I've been reaching out, maybe trying to get some of the people from Cam, or maybe getting our buddy Brent Simmons to sign at our table, or a few other folks that live in the California area. So the Geekscape table is going to have a lot of horror movie night representation, probably some trading cards, probably a new shirt. So
Definitely some trading cards.
make sure that you are going and checking out that shit and finding out what's going on by visiting our Facebook and social media accounts. It's all HMN Podcast, as well as our website, hmnpodcast.com. So we did Out of the Dark a couple episodes ago, and it was because we had to push something back because it seemed like it may have been a cursed movie, but we're going to take a shot in the dark, and we're going to watch this cursed movie next week. So stay tuned for that.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.